Admiral Zexathara watched with satisfaction as the three human generals knelt before the execution platform. The grand amphitheater of Vex Prime was packed with representatives from a dozen species, all gathered to witness the Empire's decisive victory over the stubborn human resistance. "Let this be a lesson," Zexathara announced, his voice amplified across the stadium, "to any who would dare challenge the hegemony's rightful rule over this galaxy." The three humans, Generals Martinez, Chen, and Okafor, showed no fear as the plasma executioners powered up their weapons. They had been captured during the failed defense of Luna Station, humanity's last major stronghold. Their deaths would surely break whatever remained of human morale. General Martinez, the eldest of the three, lifted his head one final time. "For humanity," he said simply. The executioners fired. 3 brilliant flashes, and the human leadership was no more. The crowd erupted in cheers. Zexathara basked in the moment, already composing his report to the High Council. The human problem would finally be, his communication implant chirped urgently. Then again, and again. "Admiral!" His aide's voice was strained with panic. "We're receiving reports from across the sector. Something's happening." Zexathara frowned, stepping away from the viewing platform. "What kind of reports?" "Ships, sir. Thousands of them, appearing simultaneously across 17 systems." The color drained from Zexathara's scaled face. "Impossible! Our intelligence confirmed the human fleet was decimated at Luna. We accounted for every vessel." "Sir," the aide's voice cracked, "these aren't the ships we've been fighting. These are different, larger, more advanced. They're broadcasting human identification codes, but the technology signatures don't match anything in our databases." Through the amphitheater's massive viewports, Zexathara could see the first ships materializing in Vex Prime's orbit. Sleek, predatory vessels that seemed to bend light around their hulls. They were beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. "How many?" Zexathara whispered. "Conservative estimate? 50,000 ships across all systems. They're moving in perfect coordination, sir." "Perfect." The celebration below had turned to confusion as news spread through the crowd. The various species representatives were receiving their own reports, their faces ranging from bewilderment to outright terror. Zexathara's aide continued the grim litany. "Admiral, they're not just attacking military targets. They're systematically dismantling our infrastructure. Orbital platforms, communication arrays, supply depots. It's like they know exactly where everything is. The humans couldn't have hidden a fleet this size," Zexathara muttered, his strategic mind racing. "The resources alone would be—" He stopped, a terrible realization dawning. "Unless, sir, what if these aren't ships from the colonies we conquered? What if—" His blood turned to ice. "Get me Admiral Krexvoll, now!" The communication established moments later, Krexvoll's image flickering with interference. Behind him, explosions lit up his bridge. "Admiral!" Krexvoll shouted over the chaos. "We're under attack by an unknown human fleet. Our defensive grids are useless. They're using technology we've never seen." Krexvoll listened carefully. "Where do you think these ships came from?" "I don't know. They appeared from deep space beyond our sensor range. It's like they were waiting." The transmission cut to static. Zexathara stared at the dead screen, his mind reeling. The implications were staggering. The humans they had been fighting, the colonies they had conquered over the past decade, what if those weren't all of humanity? What if there were others, watching from the void? His aide approached hesitantly. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. It's from the human fleet." "Put it through." The main display flickered to life, revealing a human woman in an unfamiliar uniform. Behind her, the bridge was pristine, advanced beyond anything the Empire had encountered. Her eyes were cold as stellar void. "I am Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Deep Fleet," she said, her voice carrying the weight of distant stars. "You have just executed my brother, David Chen, along with Generals Martinez and Okafor." Zexathara felt his legs weaken. Brother. These weren't refugees or hidden colonies. This was something else entirely. Admiral Chen continued, 20 years ago, humanity sent colony ships in every direction. Not the ones you found and conquered. Those were decoys, filled with volunteers who knew their role. The real colony ships went further. Much further. Into the deep black beyond your sensors, beyond your reach. The display shifted, showing a star map with thousands of points of light spreading outward from Earth's location. "We've been watching you, Admiral. Learning, growing, building, and waiting for you to make the mistake of showing your true nature." Zexathara found his voice. "What? What do you want?" "Justice," Admiral Chen replied simply. "And to ensure this never happens again." Across the galaxy, the trap that had been decades in the making finally closed. The Empire's fleets dispersed. Across their conquered territories, found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't comprehend. Ships that moved like living things, weapons that turned their own technology against them, and a coordination that spoke of a civilization that had spent 20 years preparing for this exact moment. In the amphitheater, the alien representatives watched in stunned silence as more human ships materialized overhead. The execution that was meant to break humanity's spirit had instead triggered something far worse for the Empire: humanity's return. Admiral Chen's final words echoed across every hegemony world simultaneously. "You wanted to send a message, Admiral. Consider yours received. This is ours. Humanity remembers. Humanity endures. And humanity never forgives those who murder the innocent." The war that followed would be remembered as the shortest in galactic history, not because it ended quickly, but because the Empire ceased to exist so completely that historians would debate whether it had ever truly been there at all. The three generals had died as planned. The trap, 20 years in the making, had triggered perfectly.